Hello teachers, learners, and parents. Sir Jeff po, at your service. Alam nyo ba na meron tayong website na tinatawag na DepEd Commons? Ang DepEd Commons ay binuo upang gawing accessible ang pagtuturo at pag-aaral dito sa ating bansa gamit lamang ang inyong mga smart devices gaya ng cellphones, tablets, at computers. Dito ay maaari nating ma-access ang iba't ibang learning materials mula sa Department of Education. Meron itong mga interactive materials, electronic self-learning modules, at instructional video lessons mula sa DepEd TV na tiyak na makatutulong sa pag-aaral ng mga mag-aaral galing ka man sa public o private school. Walang problema dahil welcome ang lahat dito. Para ito sa mga guro, magulang at mga mag-aaral mula sa kinder hanggang grade 12, alternative learning system o ALS, at pati na rin ang special education. At huwag kang mag-alala dahil kahit walang load ay maaari mong ma-access ang mga learning materials. Tama! Libre ito. Ang kailangan mo lamang gawin ay i-on ang iyong data at buksan lamang ang iyong browser at i-type ang commons.deped.gov.ph. Alam na ba ng iyong mga kasamahang guro o mag-aral ang tungkol sa DepEd Commons? I-share mo na ang video na ito upang matuto rin sila kung paano gagamitin ang DepEd Commons sa mabilis at napakadaling paraan. Muli, ito po si Sir Jeff at kita-kits po tayo sa DepEd Commons. Paalam!
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng ICT's Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Magandang hapon po sa lahat, lalong-lalo na po sa ating mga senior high school learners and parents who are watching our live stream of our ETUlay online tutorial. At pa-shoutout din po sa aming Division Program Supervisor in English, Mr. Van Gaspang, and to our Division Program Supervisor in Filipino, Dr. Mylene Barquera. And also, I would like to greet din po ang lahat ng mga research teachers na nanunood po sa ating session ngayon. Live na live po tayo sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at DepEd YouTube channels. Alright? At magandang hapon din po sa lahat ng ating online viewers. Hello po and welcome to our ETUlay tutorial session. We have Beatriz Dacilio, Kaizel Lorraine Torreses, Ching Madarang, Rosie Sereño, Stacy Janil Garcia, Jay Isidro Sison, Janver Gabas, Katrina Domingo, Jane Wencitadora, Hazel Ann Garciano, and a lot more. Ako po si Tutor June at muli, samahan niyo ako class as we learn very important topics for inquiries, investigations, and immersion. And today's exciting session will lead us to understand our topic on Quarter 4, Week 2, which is on data collection procedures for quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods research. To begin, let us have a game. Are you familiar of the software game 4 picks, 1 word. In here, I would like you to guess the exact word using the pictures flashed on your screen. However, if you cannot guess the word using the given pictures, I will also be showing you jumbled letters of the word as the second clue. All right? Are you ready? Let's start with our first word. What's the word? Guess the word. Again, please write your answer in the comment section below. And let me check who got it right using our first clue. Katrina Domingo said statistics. That is wrong. All right, sa mga hindi pa makapagbigay ng tamang sagot, here is our second clue. All right, what's the answer? That is Paulo Tumamak, Samantha, Kyla answered, as well as Amari Joy answered survey. The correct answer is survey. Good job. You guessed the first word correctly. Let's proceed with our second word. What's the word? Guess the word. Let us see if you will get this right using our first clue. Stacy answered interview. Is that correct? Let me check with our second clue. Paulo Tumamak, Nisha, Katrina, Huge Butch, Joanna, Hazel Ann, Amari Joy, all answered interview. And you are right. The correct word is interview. Very good. Next up, let us guess our third word. What's the word? Guess the word. Let me check your answers using the first clue. All right, wala pang sumasagot using the first clue. Here is our second clue. What's the answer? Paulo Tumamak answered group interview. Pwede? Pero we are looking for the exact term. Ching Madarang answered discussion. That is correct, but wrong spelling. Ching, Stacy, Pau, Graciela, Huge Butch, Jean Kenneth, Katrina, Redilyn, Amarijoy, Bianca, all answered discussion. Good job. You guessed the third word correctly. To proceed, let us have our fourth and final word. What's the word? Guess the word. Let's see if you will get this right. For our final and last word. Wala pa pong sumasagot using our first clue. So class, here is our second clue. Ching Madarang answered data gathering. That is wrong. You have our second clue? Okay, Graciela answered observation. Stacy also answered observation. Eliza, CJ, Julia, all answered observation. Very good, that is correct. So congratulations, class, for guessing all the words correctly. Now, what have you noticed, class, with these words? Survey, interview, discussion, and observation. What do you call these words? Or What are these words for? These are, these are called ways of collecting data or the methods in data collection. And as what Daniel Moran mentioned, you can have data without information, but you cannot have information without data. That is why data collection is one of the most important stages, class, in conducting our research. You can have the best research design in the world, but if you cannot collect the required data, you will not be able to have valid results and you will not be able to complete your study. Although data collection is a very demanding job which needs thorough planning, hard work, and patience, but I know researchers like you, class, easily don't give up, okay? And or do not easily give up. And since we believe that the end always justify the means. All right? And now let us formally define the term data collection. When we say data collection, it is the process of gathering and measuring information on variables of interest in a systematic fashion in order to enable the researcher to answer stated research questions, test hypotheses, and evaluate the outcomes. While data collection methods vary, class, by discipline, the emphasis on ensuring accurate and honest collection remains the same in all disciplines. Since the goal in collecting data is to capture quality evidence and for us to obtain convincing and credible answers to questions being posed in our research. Here are some guidelines, or here are some of the guidelines in planning the data collection procedure, specifically the guidelines before the actual collection of data. Before you begin collecting data, first is you need to develop your data collection instruments and materials. And in our previous tutorial session, I made mention that we need to consider the aim of the study as well as the research questions in making or adapting these research instruments. Next is you need to seek or ask permission from the authorities. In your level as student researchers, the person in authority is your school principal or school director or your school administrator. So in your data collection procedure, you may write, the researchers will seek written permission from the school principal, let us say the principal in your school, for the conduct of the study. Third is to select and screen the population using appropriate sampling technique. In the previous quarter class, you have learned how to perform the different quantitative and qualitative sampling techniques, as well as how to obtain our sample given our target population. So you need to apply that in here. And then we obtain an informed consent form from the participants by giving them an informed consent form before they participate in the study. The participant informed consent form contains a brief orientation of the purpose of the study and assures the participants that the collected data will be treated with utmost confidentiality. Because it is said that the informed consent is the right of every individual when participating in research. Moreover, if students are not in the legal age, their parents will also be asked through a written permission as well. Finally, is we do pilot testing of our research instruments, especially if it is researcher-made, to ensure the validity and reliability of these research instruments. And here are some of the guidelines in planning the data collection procedure during the actual gathering of data. So during data collection, first is you need to provide instructions to the participants or the respondents, especially on what to do or how to fill out the given research instruments. After that, you are now ready to administer the instrument to your respondents or implement the intervention or treatment if applicable, and then retrieve the instruments thereafter. And as much as possible, class, we need to utilize triangulation or to cross-validate the gathered data from the actual responses. Also, in mixed methods research, which involves collecting and analyzing both quantitative and qualitative data, we also have one method which we call concurrent triangulation. In concurrent triangulation, there is only one phase of data collection, and during which quantitative and qualitative data collection and analysis are conducted concurrently or simultaneously, since the researcher considered both data to have equal priority of the study. In symbol, that is quan plus qual. All right? And we will discuss this in detail in our discussion on the different mixed methods research designs. And after collecting your data, you need to immediately encode or transcribe the qualitative data and archive your quantitative data. Questionnaires shall be retrieved the same day or as they were given to the respondents to ensure a higher return percentage of the questionnaires. Make sure that you safeguard the confidentiality of this data, that is in preparation to examining and analyzing your data using appropriate statistical tools. Next up, we have data collection procedures for a quantitative study. And always remember, class, that the quantitative data collection methods rely on random sampling and structured data collection instruments that fit diverse experiences into predetermined response categories. They produce results that are easy to summarize, compare, and generalize. A survey questionnaire is a commonly used type of instrument in quantitative research. The most commonly used scales is a Likert scale. We can have a 3-point, 4-point, or 5-point Likert scale depending on the number of descriptors or levels. In this example, we have a 5-point Likert scale ranging from strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. And in administering survey questionnaire in the new normal, you may copy the content of your instrument in the Google Forms and then send the link of this form to the FB Messenger or email it to your chosen respondent. Pero mas madali yung sa FB Messenger, kagaya ng ginagawa ngayon ng aking mga estudyante. And class, when you ask personal questions in your questionnaire or research instrument, you may include scaling. Since later, we are going to code this one in the analysis part. For example, we have the variable for sex. We can code that to be 1 for female and 1 for male and 2 for female. For the variable marital status, we have 1 for single, 2 for steady relationship, 3 living with a partner, 4 married for the first time, 5 remarried, 6 separated, 7 divorced, and 8 widowed. This is the beauty in quantitative research, class, wherein every data can be quantified through coding so that later we can easily analyze these numerical data with an appropriate descriptive or inferential statistical tools. Meanwhile, we also have data collection procedures for qualitative study. Take note, class, that qualitative data collection methods are exploratory in nature and are mainly concerned with gaining insights and understanding on underlying reasons and motivations. These qualitative data collection methods emerged after it has become known that traditional quantitative data collection methods were unable to express human feelings and emotions. And the most commonly used method for qualitative data collection is an interview. An interview is also referred to as a conversation with a purpose, since it explores different individual experiences and perspectives in rich detail. You may do audio recording of the interview so that later you can easily transcribe the detailed responses of your participants. But again, you need to ask permission, or you need to ask permission first from your participants if they will allow that the interview or the conversation will be recorded. And class, there are different types of interview. It can be a structured one, wherein the questions as well as their order is already scheduled or structured in this type of interview. Okay? Your additional intervention consists of giving more explanation to clarify your question if needed, and ask your respondent or respondents to provide more explanation if the answer they provide is vague or still unclear. On the other hand, a semi-structured interview includes a number of planned questions, but the interviewer has more freedom to modify the wording and order of the questions. In an in-depth interview, the interview is less formal and least structured, in which the wording and questions are not predetermined. This type of interview is more appropriate to collect complex information with a higher proportion of opinion-based information. Lastly is what we call an FGD, or focus group discussion. Focus groups are sometimes used when it is better to obtain information from a group rather than individuals. In here, the discussion is structured with the purpose of stimulating conversation around a specific topic. It is led by a facilitator who poses questions, and the participants will give their thoughts and opinions about it. The FGD method gives us the possibility to cross-check one individual's opinion with other opinions gathered in the focus group discussion. It is also useful for characterizing social and cultural norms and to explore the opinions of a certain group on a particular sensitive topic. Let us say, for example, the stand of teenagers on teenage pregnancy. And presenting to you, class, a sample process in collecting qualitative data through FGD or focus group discussions. We can start the discussion with an icebreaker and then explain the purpose why they were gathered for a meeting, as well as establish ground rules, the do's and don'ts in the FGD, and then give the participants a brief introduction. For the warm-up, you may relate their experiences and stimulate group interaction by giving them first with least threatening and simplest questions. And once you already establish a good rapport to your participants, you may now move to more threatening or sensitive and complex questions to elicit deep responses and connect emergent data to complex data. And in here, it is expected to have a broad participation. And finally, you may end the discussion with closure type questions in order to summarize and refine responses and present theories. You may also invite or encourage them to give final comments or insights of the given topic. And of course, most importantly, you thank them for actively participating in the discussion. And class, we can also collect or gather qualitative data through observation in order to learn certain behaviors in natural setting. It enables the researcher to learn what is taken for granted in a situation and to discover what is going on by watching and listening to the environment. Hence, in here, it is expected that this involves, or in here, in the observation method, it involves the researcher taking lengthy and descriptive notes of what is happening around the community. And we have two observation techniques, class, which differ primarily in the visibility and involvement of the researcher in the setting, namely the participant and non-participant observation. In participant observation method, this is when the researchers actually become a part of the group they are studying in order to collect data and understand a social phenomenon. However, non-participant observation involves observing participants without actively participating. And observations class may include field notes such as photographs, recorded videos, and artifacts in the community being observed. All right? So after learning class these insights and skills in data collection, we are now ready to plan for data analysis, which we will learn in our next tutorial session. Now that you have gained a clear understanding on our topic today, let us apply what you have learned by answering the following activity. You are going to answer the questions that follow by choosing the letter of the correct answer. Please write your answers in our live stream's comment section. All right? Are you ready? Let's start. Question number 1. What is a data collection? Is it A, collecting the research question and objectives together? B, gathering data which helps you address your research question? C, reviewing the related literature or studies? D, outlining how you will gather the information for your research question? Okay, please write your answers in our comment section. Let me check your answers. Stacy answered letter B. Judea, Paolo, Christine, Julian all answered letter B. The correct answer is B. Data collection refers to gathering data which helps you address your research question. Good job. Number 2. In this mixed methods research design, only one data collection phase is used, during which quantitative and qualitative data collection and analysis are conducted separately, yet concurrently. The researcher considered both data to have equal priority of the study. Is it A, sequential explanatory, B, sequential exploratory, C, concurrent triangulation, D, concurrent nested, okay? D, concurrent nested. All right, let me check your answers. We have, okay, pabati po, John Dexter Garcia, 12 Excellence from Natividad High School. Welcome, John Dexter. Stacy answered letter C, as well as Charlie, Kendra, John Ver, and Andrea all answered letter C. The correct answer is C, concurrent triangulation. Very good. Next, let us answer question number 3. What are the sources of qualitative data? A, books and journal. B, interview and observation. C, primary sources and secondary sources. D. Questionnaires and survey. Allow me to read your answers in the comment section. For number 3, Maria Gloria answered letter B. Paolo Tomamak, Charlie, Christine, Clarice, Stacy, Kendra, and all answered letter B. You are correct. Interview and observation are the sources of qualitative data. Good job. Question number 4. Questionnaire is a blank. A. Research method. B. Measurement technique. C. Tool for data collection. D. Data analysis technique. Again, A. Research method. B. Measurement technique. C. Tool for data collection. And D. Data analysis technique. Judea answered letter C. Andrea also answered letter C, as well as Maria Gloria, and Jean Kenneth answered letter C. And the correct answer is letter C. Questionnaire is a tool for data collection. And finally, number 5, this refers to the right of every individual in participating in a research or a confirmation of willingness to participate in a given study. A. Informed consent. B. Confidentiality. C. Anonymity. D. Risk benefit safety. Please write your answers in the comment section. For number 5, we have Andrea Sucor answered A. Christine, Jean Kenneth, Javes, Paulo, Maria Gloria, Judea, and all answered letter A. And the correct answer is letter A, informed consent. Very good. All right, congratulations class for answering it all correctly. Do you have any questions? May tanong po ba? Now for your assignment, since this is 3 I's, you are going to write the data collection procedures of your own study following the guidelines presented in this tutorial class. You may post it in your FB timeline and use the hashtag ETUlay III collecting data. Again, the hashtag is #ETUlay III collecting data. And presenting to you our ETUlay 3 I's Duties of the Week. Hinihiling ko po ang inyong mainit na pagbati sa ating 3 I's Duties of the Week at sila ay ang magkapatid na Hazel Ann at Jean Kenneth Garciano. Parehong grade 12 students ng Ormoc City Senior High School. Ayon kina Hazel at Jean, sa tulong ng ETUlay, nagkaroon kami ng gabay para matuto ng lubusan sa mga paksa o kaalamang dapat taglayin namin bilang mga mag-aaral sa senior high school. Mas napadali din ang aming pagkatuto dahil sa weekly online sessions itinuturo ang mga bahagi ng papel pananaliksik para makapagsulat kami ng maganda at epektibong research paper. Maraming salamat Hazel Ann at Jean Kenneth sa inyong palaging pagsubaybay sa ating ETUlay sessions. Hangad po namin na matupad ninyo ang inyong mga pangarap sa buhay. At sa mga hindi po makapanood or nakapanood sa ating weekly live tutorial sessions, you may follow me sa aking Wakelet account na nakalagay sa inyong mga screens. Or pwede ding scan ang QR code na nasa inyong mga screens. Ang ating recorded videos ng ETUlay tutorial sessions in inquiries, investigations, and immersion are compiled in our Wakelet account. At iyan po ang ating online tutorial sa linggong ito. See you po in our next tutorial session, same time, same day. This has been your ETUlay tutor, Sir June, na nag-iiwan ng katagang, the research of today shall speak the innovations of tomorrow. Thank you and happy researching!
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan sa Lunes mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Science. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!